Hello, everybody. Guess who's here? The Lazy Blaze is here, and today I'm going to be kind of going over my thoughts on the new Melee recommended rule set. It just came out last night or this morning, I don't know, August 2nd, 2017. And a few things have been changed. Some are kind of big. Some changes were probably made that aren't really seen that often, but the big things were no mid-set coaching now, so no more crunch or like coaching H-box in between games sometimes when it's allowed. Wobbling still legal, good, should be legal. And Smashbox, so like Hax's controller, Gravy's controller, no longer allowed, or this is a recommended rule set, of course, but most majors will just be using the recommended rule set. They're not going to change it because then they'll just cause confusion. And another thing that I looked over at first, but is actually huge and is probably, to be honest, the biggest change, or at least what we'll see, is no bans in the best of five. Yes, bans in a best of five, my bad. So usually in Marth versus Fox, well, with Mewtwo at least, he has a free win because he can just go to FD. But now, against Mewtwo, you're going to ban FD. So he just can't go there. He's going to need to adapt, definitely. I mean, he can still win on any other stage, but there's not that basically free win. There are very few times where a top-level Spacey beats Mewtwo on FD when he's using Marth. It just doesn't happen that often at all. Also, with Puff, she loves to go to Dreamland because she doesn't die as early from Fox, but now they're going to ban Dreamland against H-Box. So, basically what I'm talking about for the bans is top level, like, Among the Gods, because the stages matter a lot in Melee, but it matters more the higher level you get, because stages are very different in Melee. Not like as different as Smash 4 or like PM, but in Melee the stages definitely could have if Evo, you can look at any set and you'd be like, if that was on a different stage, maybe wasn't the same result. But so the stage is very important, and bans in a best of five are very. It's been like this for so long. 15 years or whatever, or I don't know when the recommended rule set got up, but over 5 years maybe. I don't know when Myome Melee It On Me kind of started this, but for a while, and to change it now is just, that changes stuff. I know Mewtwo posted on Twitter or something, he's like, yeah, this new rule set is awful, and I might not go to as many tournaments, but that's an empty threat. But let's kind of go over it. So the intro, they're just kind of saying, it isn't required, it's just recommended, as it says in the name. The leadership panel, the five, was Crimson Blair, oh my god, Juggle Guy, don't know who I've heard the name, but I can't put a name to a face. Dr. Z, I think he's a Puff, Nintendude, and Matt.Zeb. So, I think, he's from New England. I'm also from there. So, you kind of looking like you're having, I don't know if Nintendo's from NorCal, Crimson's from SoCal, Matt.Zeb's from I don't know where Dr. Z Juggle Guy is, maybe one of them's from Europe, kind of sounds familiar, but, they're coming from all over to basically vote, and you'll see the votes at large panel, and 25 people, I don't know what that is, whatever. So, the big things are, let me get back to here. So, right here it says somewhere, best of five. Yeah, stage bans. After each game, before the next stage selected, the player who won the preceding game bans a stage from either the star list or the counterpick list. People keep saying how, like Fox 20XX, it was a joke at first, but it's becoming more of a reality every day when people don't lose to Fox as often anymore at top level. Unless you're Armada and you're the best of all time. But it's becoming Spacey Paradise because Now the Spaceys can ban FD. Spaceys can ban, against Marth. Spaceys can ban Dreamland against Puff. So now their worst stage, I won't say by far, but their worst stage in that matchup is now out of the table. Where if you're Marth, you're going to ban Pokemon. He's just going to take you... I mean, it's kind of good for Marth, but the cons outweigh the pros in that matchup for the stage bans. So whatever. And of course, the stage clause, player may not pick a stage, they pre-release one on game during the match. That's always been around, that just makes sense. Mutual agreement, whatever. So, neutral ports, I really don't care about ports. I just always go port 3 because I heard that's the best, so whatever. Coaching, it's just not allowed now. And what was funny is that Mr. Wizard for Evo just he was just like, there's coaching, but now that is over. Well, I mean, they're probably just going to go with a recommended rule set, but most tournaments now are just going to be like, no coaching, because the recommended rule set says it. I personally, even though I never will probably ever be in a situation where, I need a coach or something, or if I had a coach, I would have, if I had a coach, I definitely would have won this. That's probably never going to happen to me, so it doesn't affect me. But people think that HBox is only the second best because he is coached by Crunch. And that's just ridiculous because Hungerbox, it doesn't affect him. It helps him, but it isn't the reason that he's good. It's just helpful. It's very helpful sometimes. I know in Smash 4, it was Mars versus Renai, two very top 15 players, or top 20. Mars was down 2-0, so if he loses one more, he's out. And then he got his coach, Nairo, told him something, I don't know what, and then he reverse 3-0'd him, and he says, yeah, without that coach, I would have lost that. But this only happens it doesn't happen as often as people think. Coaching is just helpful. It's only 30 seconds. You really can't tell people much in only 30 seconds. If you do, then you're a really good coach. I mean, Crunch is probably the best coach around, but that's just because Crunch and HBox have been friends forever. So, yeah, basically that's my opinion on coaching. It shouldn't be something that's thought to be the bad, people who like coaching or have coaches are the bad guys. No, they're just using the resource they have. It's not really a big deal that it's now banned because I guess it was just creating too much argument and discussion, or so they're just whatever, we don't want it, this stuff, penalties, don't care. So here it is, the committee voting. This was all the stuff. This was actually surprisingly close. It was too close. Should the timer be reduced to 7 minutes? Blur, yeah. Juggle Guy, no. Dr. Z, no. Nintendo, yes. Matt.Zeb. I mean, Nintendo is an ice climber, so of course he's gonna want the timer to be reduced. Or I don't know why. It's just hilarious because this was too close. 7 minutes was experimented in. It wouldn't be a big deal, but a minute is a lot of time. People have won matches in under a minute. So that would have just been really awkward to have the timer at 7 minutes now. Should there be a ledge grab limit for timeouts? No, of course not. If you think that there needs to be a ledge grab limit because Puff is broken without a ledge grab limit, then you're just obviously haven't picked Fox. Before a ledge grab, the only reason a ledge grab limit should be a thing potentially in the future is because it ruins viewership. I really don't care. If I see a timeout, okay, really don't care. I would love to see a timeout. You're planking? Okay, I'd love to see planking. I don't care about it, but so many people do, and it's been proven that, there's, HBox is planking against Chew, people, M2K is camping, the viewership goes down. That's unfortunate that people, I can't tell people you should not be thinking this way. You should be entertained by this because people find it boring. I can understand why they do. So, and it drops viewership. That's the only reason it should potentially be banned in the future. But planking with Puff is good, but that's also a tool that she has. I mean, that's not every character can like plank. Puff can because she has multiple jumps. She has good aerials. It's just part of her character. If you go aggro Puff, you die. Even though HBox kind of won Evo with aggro Puff, it just doesn't work anymore. He said before, Campy Puff is just better. He's playing to win. It's like someone plays Puff and plays to win by camping. Why don't you get mad at every single Fox main for playing a broken character? So they're playing to win. They're playing Fox. Whatever. Wobbling be banned. Of course, wobbling should not be banned. Mewtwo thinks it should be, but he loses to wobbling sometimes, so that would just help him. Wobbling, there's no reason for it to be banned. It would the first reason is like there's a lot of people like Splice. Nintendo's sponsored by Splice. You got Liquid, Chudat. You got DizKid. I don't know if he has a sponsor. He might not. What are some other ICs? Panda Global Wobbles. Panda Wobbles doesn't really do anything anymore. But Chew just got sponsored by Liquid. Liquid, one of the best esports companies around to get signed by. And without wobbling, he's obviously not as good. He's not going to win anymore. He's never going to beat Mewtwo King again. He's never going to beat Mango again if he doesn't have wobbling. And is that a bad thing? No. It's an infinite grab, and it sucks to play against wobbling, but it's not broken. Nana is so dumb. Is Ice Climbers even S or A tier? No. Not even top 5. So there's really even no discussion of her being top 5. So, has Ice Climbers ever won a major? Has Ice Climbers ever won a national? No, they haven't. Chuda did win that one thing, but there was only Mewtwo King there, basically. It's just really no reason to ban wobbling because it's not broken. It's an infinite grab. There are many ways around it. Sure, it's a bit lame or whatever, but it's just a part of the game. Fox. Let's just ban Fox from shining off stage because that kills at 0. No one's gonna say that because that's just a part of the game. That's part of the character. All right, this is getting a bit long. I'm kind of ranting a bit, but whatever. How do I check the time on this? Whatever. 12 minutes. I'll just go for a bit longer. Should coaching be legal? It was almost unanimous. Matt.Zeb was for, which that really confuses me because Matt.Zeb or she voted for. Well, they were the only ones who voted to not ban coaching. But at Shine 2017 major tournament I'm going to, there's no coaching. There was going to be no coaching there, which is hilarious to me because you're one of the only majors that has banned coaching at your tournament, but you're the only person on the board to, say yes, coaching should be a thing, whatever. I've already touched on coaching. Should shield drop notches be legal? Yes, of course. It's because it helps Fox. If something helps Puff or whatever, I'm just saying things. Should hardware Arduinos be legal? No, of course not. Because I don't know why. And no Smashbox. Who voted for that? Nintendo is the only one who voted for it because Blur has always been since day one no Smashbox, no box. This is really sad to me because hacks is no longer. This isn't a big thing. This may not be forever is what I'm going to say. Smashbox and box may be legal in the future, but Gravy, I don't know if he can play game controller, I don't know if he has something wrong with his hands, but there are people I know who can't play with a game controller because it hurts their hands too much. Whatever. For some reason, it's hard to play Fox for so long, and hacks found the solution by his box, and now he was becoming a better player again. He made top 48 at Evo, almost beat HBox, but then his controller malfunctioned. That's unfortunate, but it wasn't complete. It wasn't ready yet. that's just to me killing the game, because Smashbox and Box kind of extended the life of Melee, because now it opened up people that have never played on a game controller. They always play it in their stick, and like, oh, I want to get into Melee. I'm gonna use a Smashbox, or I'm gonna use the Box because it's more familiar to my type of controller, like from Street Fighter, traditional fighter games like Marvel or something. And now they're a Melee player, and they're like, wow, I love Melee. And your controller is banned. You cannot use your controller at majors. I really hope they change that. I think that's it. Should pause result in a penalty more severe than stock loss? So if you pause, you lose. Okay, I didn't see this. So if you pause on accident, you may lose the game. Wow. Okay, I don't know if I'm reading that wrong. That wasn't unanimous, but so if you pause, you're done, like at the TO's discretion. Wow, that's actually, because sometimes you pause. I mean, there have been very few times at tournaments when you pause, but that's just more of the rule that really never happens. But the one time that someone does pause, and the other person isn't about it, I've had people pause to me before in tournament. I'm like, no, whatever, I don't care. Looking back, maybe I should have, taken the stock for them. I remember one time in tournament, there was this puff, and it like killed me or something, or might have hit me by rest or whatever, in Smash 4. And I'm playing Cloud. It was like already embarrassing to get beat by a puff with Cloud, and they taunt and then pause and then zoom in, and then I should have just said like, nope, that's the stock. But the TO wouldn't have been about it anyway. I know the TO, he would have been like, no, just play. But it's just funny to look back and say, like, what if I took the stock for the pause? Would I have won? But then you wouldn't have really won. It's -1 stock. It's 3 stocks versus 4 at that point, which is obviously unfair. So I basically think I've summed up all of my views, and, like, I mean, there's really no solution other than to just straight out fix, like, basically reverse the decisions at a later date, but this is going to be the thing for a while before they come to another agreement. I think it's awful. This rule set is awful in my opinion. Never been a worse rule set. I mean, in Melee, this rule set is horrible. In Smash 4, when they banned Duck Hunt, they banned Lylat, when they combined Dreamland and Battlefield, I could see why they did that, but it nerfed my character. I mean, not really, but Duck Hunt was my favorite stage. I love Battlefield, love Dreamland. Oh, you banned Dreamland? I'm going to Battlefield. You banned Battlefield? I'm going to Dreamland. I love doing that because it helped my character. And here, even though, I guess I'm kind of technically better at Melee than Smash 4, but I just care about Smash 4 more. But, it's nerfing my characters, Marth and Sheik. Sheik not as much, but Marth, yes, definitely. Maybe now Leffen will stop complaining on Twitter about Marth. Idiot. But this video is getting a bit long. This is kind of my return to YouTube. Probably gonna do more rant videos like this. Why not? I'm thinking about it in my mind as I'm reading it. Might as well put it on YouTube to look at later in life and laugh at myself. So with that, I'm gonna wrap up the video. Make sure to like and subscribe and all that.